In this series, we'll be building automations for HOAs, communities, real estate, in order to integrate automations and workflows and AI to upgrade their community into a smart community. Here's a draft of a community that I'll be working on in this series. I've already built out the wire structure in Base 44. We'll have a backend go high level that automates all of the CRM, the automations, the AI agent. And then we're going to integrate features that make life so much easier for the members while enhancing security. Let's jump in here. The first feature is going to be a command center that overlooks the entire community and can send out mass alerts. No more trying to dig out email addresses for every member of the community when the gate goes down, a sewage pipe is busted, or you just want to notify everybody that the potluck has started. The board members can jump in here and send out a community-wide alert. Next is security. Watching the gates is super important. We're going to integrate artificial intelligence cameras. Where do those feed? They need to feed into a portal where you can control everything. And this is all made up information, but imagine a directory where you have members' name, address, lot number, phone number, email, and then their license plate number. So when they do approach the gate, the license plate automatically registers and opens the gate for them without the member having to do anything. Maintenance requests can be a nightmare if somebody's managing that. We will build a Kanban board where you have every maintenance request come in to a submitted section that gets then moved over to an assigned stage based on approvals and then ultimately dished out to a third-party vendor or taken care of in-house and then marked as complete. So members can now see what has been reported, what is currently assigned, and whether or not their request has been completed. Architectural review community is the one that's responsible for, if you want to paint your house, what color is it going to be? You want to install a lanai, what angle, what grade, what type of material, all of that needs to match the HOA guidelines and needs to be approved. The current processes are very manual. You have to go drop off samples. You have to submit a form. Maybe you have to have multiple meetings. A lot of information can just be lost in that confusion. We're going to build a very streamlined process to get this from A to Z. Every community must have a vault. All of their documentation for historical records and continuity needs to be in one place by everybody. And if your community has amenities, maybe you can book golf tee times. Maybe you can reserve the tennis courts. Maybe you can plan the next Easter egg hunt and advertise it here. When new residents join the community, there should be an onboarding process. This is where all their information is collected, as well as information is provided based on what the community has, the handbook, the gate access guidelines, the amenities, and then the contact directory so they can get introduced to their neighbors. Every board is judged based on their success rate of how they manage the community funds. Having a dashboard where all the members can understand the budget, where the money is going, and why their payment amounts are what they are, creates buy-in from every member. Every member will be able to access the proposed budget. They'll see where their money is being allocated. We can expense what they can expect for expenditures that year. So I'll be working on the ARC first and showcasing this to the board, and I'm excited to begin. If you want to follow along, go ahead and like and subscribe. And when I'm done, if you want a copy of this, join my Skool community and I'll give you the complete snapshot so you can implement it into your communities to make it a completely smart and secure community, integrating all of the technology in an appropriate and secure way. Now, for the ARC, we need an integrated form in order to collect all of the information for the requests these members are going to have. You want to paint color, you want to install a pool, you want to change your driveway. All of that information needs to be collected by the back end. So the first thing we have to do is build custom fields. So come into your high level. First, let's add a folder where we can keep all of these custom fields organized. This is associated with a company. Now let's go save. Now we have all the basics already. First name, last name, email, phone. That's all going to be there. But we need specific things like lot number, or is this part of windows and doors? Is this associated with driveways? So for each one of those, we have to build a field. So let's add field. First one is a single line. Next, and this is the lot number, and then save. And now we have a custom field called lot number. So anytime somebody enters, let's say 25, that piece of data is now going to be stored in this custom field. So when we go create a form later and we say, hey, whatever the user entered in terms of a number, I want you to appear on this particular email or a form, then we can reference this variable. And that's how data goes from the user all the way to the form or an email that we then send out. And so 25 is entered and 25 is sent out. The variable is stored in this custom field. Let's add another one. This one's going to be a drop down. We'll go multiple and then next, and we'll call it project type. Now here's where all of the different Now here's where all of the different project types come into mind. So you might have a roof, might have windows and doors, maybe a generator, let's call it landscaping, driveway, walkways, pavers, let's say pool, and I call it a lanai. Let's say structural, play system, this would be like a swing set, and then a catch-all other. If we come up with specific examples, we can always come back and add more, and let's say save. Okay, so now we have both of these inside our folders inside Serenoa. And so you can be in the Serenoa and then create fields directly in here and then add automatically to the folder, or if you've already built them under all fields, you can select them like this and then bulk and then move to a group and then move it down to Serenoa like this as well. I like to keep them all organized. Either way, they're still going to work. It's not an issue. Okay, so let's add another one. We will need a date picker for start time. Let's say estimated start date and then save. Let's add another one for multi-line. And next, and this one's going to be project description. Now with any form, it can get very tedious if you have too many spots on a form for people to fill out, especially with maybe a non-techie community, like an older community. They may not be inclined to go into a form and fill it out. So what we want is introduce an AI voice agent that can receive a phone call and then just like a call center, would be able to capture all of this data and then populate the form for the member. So it'll be a typical conversation. Tell me about the pool you want to install. But first, can I get your lot number? Oh, it's 25? Okay, got it. And then it'll move on to the next, to the next, to the next, and fill out this entire form just based on a conversation. Now, we might have some supporting documents, so let's go ahead and say file upload will be an option, and we'll say next, and we'll call it supporting documentation or documents. And we can allow multiple files, and why not just accept all of them? Because sure, maybe a GIF might help explain the situation, but I know certainly PDF, docs, and PNGs, and Excel spreadsheets, all of that will help, and more information is better. Let's save. I just want a max file limit. Okay, let's go with something quite high, but nothing crazy. So 30 documents, I think, should be able to explain the requirement. Save. So we'll actually have a checkbox that says disclaimer, like I understand that just submitting these documents does not constitute approval. Okay, and then save. Now that we have all the fields, we can go build our form. And this is where everything comes together. Hit back, go to sites, go up to forms, and then builder. We're going to create a new form, and immediately we get this template. It's a pretty basic form, has first, last, phone, email, or 2 consents to allow you to communicate with them down the road. But adding the fields that we just created to this form is super easy. You go to add object fields, go down to the folder we just created, and you just grab this and then go and drag it over. So now we have the entire drop-down project type. And let's go ahead and add these first so we'll know. And I'm just basing this off of a typical workflow that I would expect to fill out myself. You know, after the project type, I'd have when I want to begin, I'd have the description right under the type, I'd have supporting documents towards the end, and then I'd have an acknowledgement like this. And then for the template acknowledgements in here, you want to plug in your business name, and instead of just plugging in hard-coded, you can use the tag feature. So here I am over here, I want to plug in my tag. I'm going to go with this custom value, and you can pick something from a custom value like contact, company name, and so now whatever my company name is set in high level would get populated here. And if I had a campaign description, I could pre-populate that, but I can just say something like community, news, and information. Okay, and we do have 2 consents. Go and throw in our company name here as well. Contact, company name. Now I will double check that because that doesn't sound right to me. Company name sounds like it's for the person filling out this form, which wouldn't make any sense. So for the purpose of making this work the first time around, I'm going to hard code this in and then verify this way for a demo. It actually looks proper. Okay, and then save. Okay, now down here we have a button. That's going to be our submit button. So make sure you have a good theme for that one. I like to go with blue, but although this green looks pretty nice and it matches the community, so I'm going to go with that. Then make sure you rename it and say submit and then save. Give your form a name. I will call it ARC, the submission form. And I like to put version numbers. V1 sounds good. And save. And let's preview this form. What does it look like? So when somebody clicks on this form on the website, it will look exactly like this. First name, you can enter that. Name, phone numbers, mandatory. Emails mandatory because of the asterisk. Lot number, project is a drop down. All of the features that we put in here. We have our description. Then you can always drag it because it's a multi-line. You can get a little bit longer if you want to just look at the entire thing. Then we have estimated start date. Because it's a date picker, we get a calendar in this case like this. Supporting documents is going to open up out your file, you must acknowledge these buttons, right? Just like we have. And we got Sarah Noah in here, which is correct for now. And then our submit button. Now, I like to go one step further and make these forms look much more pretty using HTML. So for example, the header of the form. Now I could put a blank text box over here and put in the instructions. But if I put in an HTML snippet here like this, I can then have Gemini or an LLM build this out for me. And now when I click HTML and I paste the code in here that Gemini just built for me, I'll have this. And now when I go to preview, or save rather, and then preview, I'll see something like this. So you can see it start to come together where I can have this dark theme going all the way through the form. I can have different sections broken out. An example of this form is on my soniccombinator.com website, where you can reserve your spot and join my upcoming automation class for free, as long as you're my affiliate member. And you can see I can have diagrams in here that train people. This is that first name email box, but it looks much better in this case, images, and then sign me up. And that's how I want this form to look like on Sarah Noah. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. If you want to build this yourself, I'll share this copy of the code with you in my Skool community. The link will be in the description. We hope to see you soon. If you want to do this yourself and you just need a little bit of help, join my Skool community, use my high-level affiliate link, and I will help you. Revenue that I generate from that, 20% of it goes into paid ads, and the leads, I share them with my community. With my affiliate link, you get a 30-day extended trial, plus a boot camp that you can go through. I have a 15-part course that gets you from initial idea all the way to operational agency. You'll get hundreds of pre-built AI agents ready to go, workflows, automations, website templates. I also have 40+ businesses and marketing courses that you can then sell to your members. I'm heavily involved in my community. I join 7 days a week, so you can have one-on-ones with me where we can build things, we can do think tanks and come up with business ideas. You can even join my businesses where I show you what I'm doing day in and day out. Everything is completely free until I get to maximum capacity. Join now.